What up, YouTube? I'm back. So there's a new opening, and I ain't gonna lie, I already knew that there was gonna be one because I read it on Instagram or Twitter. I don't exactly remember, but there was some spoilers, obviously, but I don't really care because there's one that I already knew from a long time ago that we're gonna talk about in this review. But yeah, man, it was a pretty good opening, man. I like the song, but I really like the visuals. One thing that Black Clover does really well is the visuals and the animation and openings. You know, it's amazing. I wish that it would be like that always in the episode, but they put a lot of works in their opening, and it was pretty good, man. Obviously, I'm gonna analyze what we saw in the new opening. In this shot right there, we can see Lich and Tetsuya in their wedding outfits, you know. Obviously, I think we already saw that in previous episodes, but I think it was a pretty cool shot of them too. For your information, I'm not gonna talk about everything that we saw in the opening, just some of the shots that I really liked and that I think are really important. Obviously, there's new characters that I saw in the opening that I'm not gonna talk about because, you know, I don't really know what to say about them. But in this shot right there, we can see Tetsuya's brother, which I think is the Wizard King, you know. So that was kind of interesting. I'm wondering what we're gonna learn from him in the next few episodes, you know, because we basically know nothing about him except that he's Tetsuya's brother, you know. So I can't wait to know more about him and what he did or didn't do. Now that shot looks pretty interesting because we can see some of the nobles or royals kind of laughing and looking evil, you know. And for Lich and the elves, that's how humans look, you know, they look evil. So I'm wondering if this is a just representation of what the humans really did to the elf, or if it's just, you know, what the elf are seeing, you know, because I've said that in previous reviews. I don't think that the humans actually killed the elves. I think that something else happened. I'm not sure what, but I thought it was a pretty good shot of what the elves are seeing in humans, you know, how evil they look to them. Then we saw this right there. We've already seen this, but in a different perspective, you know. I think we saw this from Patrick's perspective, where it was from the back, and now we can see it from the front. So obviously it looks like Tetsuya died, and that's when I think Lich used his resurrection magic, you know, to help all the other elves, you know. So that was kind of a cool perspective from to see, you know. So I really like that shot. I'm wondering if maybe Tetsuya could still be alive in some shape or form. I don't know, but I really like that shot, you know. One of my favorite moments from the opening is this one right there. I think that I know who this is, but I'm not really sure, you know. But he looks a lot like Veto looked when we fought him. He looks smaller, you know, but I guess he's gonna be stronger because he's gonna be fully I guess awakened and everything like that. So he looks pretty similar to Veto, you know. So I guess he's gonna come back, and he looks awesome, man. I like this form way better than the other one. Even though the other one looks more menacing, this one looks more like, not, I'm not saying evil, but there's something different about this look, you know. So I can't wait to see if Veto is back, and if he's back, how strong he is. Like the Veto that we fought in the Water Temple arc looked really evil, but this one looks menacing, man. There's a different air about him, you know. So I can't wait to see what's gonna happen with him. But yeah, man, this was one of my favorite shots of the new opening. But the other shot that I really like was one with the real Lich, I guess, you know. This one right there where he looks really evil, man. He looks really damn evil, man. I don't know what's gonna happen with him because he's not gonna use his sword magic anymore, I think. So I'm wondering what kind of power he will have. I'm wondering what he's gonna use to destroy the humans, you know. It's gonna be interesting to see his character arc and everything like that. I'm really wondering what kind of magic he's gonna use. This is really the first time that we've seen him like that, because when he was resurrected a few episodes ago, he looked pretty calm, you know, even when he fought Asta, and you know, he looked really calm. So in this shot right there, the looks that he has in his face, in his eyes, it's an evil look, man, and he's smiling too. So I can't wait for that moment to happen. Right there, we can see Asta and Yuno looking at the Clover Kingdom and seeing how destroyed it is because of the elves, and we can also see the elves' headquarters. You know, so it's gonna be interesting to see what Asta and Yuno are gonna do, because they're gonna arrive after Noel and Mimosa, because they were just fighting one of the elves in Adji village, you know, so they're gonna arrive after, so they're gonna see how destroyed it is, and I think it's gonna be even more destroyed than it already is right now, you know, as of this episode. I thought that this was a pretty nice shot because it looked like angels coming down from the sky, you know, even though they're elves and what they're doing is evil right now, they're doing because they think it's right, but it looks like angels coming down from heaven, you know, so that was a pretty cool shot in my opinion. Now we're gonna talk about Noel, man, because I've been spoiled about this a while ago, like maybe a year ago or a few months ago, but I like this shot right there because it looks like she has a new suit or something like that. Maybe it's what she has behind her Royal Knight's robe or something like that, but it looks pretty good on her, you know. But the next shot that I'm gonna show y'all is something that I've seen in the past few months, I think, or maybe a year, but it's Noelle with her armor, her water armor, which looks pretty similar to the same armor that her mother had. It was maybe a silver armor or something like that. I don't really remember exactly, but it looks pretty damn awesome, man. I can't wait for her to bring this to her arsenal. You know, it's gonna be amazing because she has the armor. She has, it seems like a weapon or something like that. My bad, but it looks really good, man. I can't wait to see that because it looks awesome, man. I can't wait to see that animated, and I can't wait to see Noelle fight in that. You know, we already know how powerful she is. She uses her water dragon spell a lot. That's her most powerful spell right now, and she also uses her water lair spell, which is a defensive spell, you know. But now we're gonna see her actually, you know, fight in her water armor. That's gonna be awesome, and I can't wait. And like I said, it looks pretty similar to the armor that her mother used to have, you know. So she definitely is her mother's daughter, you know. So like I said, it looks awesome, man. I'm wondering if she maybe saw a picture of her mother in an armor like that, or if it's just genetic, you know. So yeah, man, it was pretty cool. But the one that she was fighting, the elves that she was fighting, I think is maybe Fana, maybe her, you know, other form or something like that, you know. So it's gonna be interesting because we're gonna talk about Fana and Veto a little bit later in this review, because I think that they're gonna be an important part of this arc, obviously. But we may had foreshadowing at the end of the episode, you know. So we're gonna talk about them. Anyway, there we can see quote-unquote Veto versus Lady Leona, and this should be an amazing fight because they're both really fierce, you know. So I can't wait to see that fight, because you know they're really compatible when it comes to fight, you know. So I really can't wait, man. This arc has been amazing, and it looks like it's gonna be even more amazing, so I can't wait for that. But that next shot, I think the next shot that I'm gonna show y'all are my favorite shot of the opening, and this is the one with Lady Leona and Fugelion, you know. Obviously they look pretty similar because they're from the same family, but I think that shot right there is amazing, man. I really like it. This was my favorite shot of the new opening, maybe besides the one with Noelle and in her new armor, you know. But it's one of my favorite shots, man. I really like it. Now the last two shots of the opening are the most intriguing to me. So obviously this one right there with, I think, a magic stone is pretty intriguing, man. I think that we've seen this magic stone earlier in the series. I don't remember exactly when, but it seems like this specific stone is gonna be really important. And this next shot, I don't know what it is, but before we saw this shot, we saw a shot of the demon skull, I guess. So I'm wondering if a demon is gonna come back. I don't know, but it looks scary, man. Maybe there's gonna be another enemy than the elves. I don't know, but it looked pretty scary, man. Anyhow, now we're gonna talk about the actual episode because I talked about this opening way too long, so my bad about that. But yeah, we're gonna talk about the episode right now. So there wasn't that much to talk about this week's episode, but the few things that we need to talk about were really interesting. So obviously in last week's episode, when Asta grabbed his new sword, he had some flashback and he turned into his black Asta form like that, so I'm wondering what was going on with that, but he was able with that new sword to take back the poison from the citizens, from the villagers, from their father. So it's a pretty strong sword, but something that I really wanted to talk about was the elves that they were fighting, because something that said was pretty interesting. He said that the elf soul was in pain, so that was kind of interesting because I think that he hated the humans so much that he couldn't really live with himself or something like that, so that was kind of interesting to hear that the elf soul was actually in pain in that moment. And they even said, I think said that if it continues like that, he was gonna turn it to something different than elves, so that was kind of interesting. I'm wondering if the elves have a different form, maybe they transform into demons, I don't know, but that was pretty interesting. So Asta and were able to defeat the elf pretty easily, so they're really strong, obviously, but the way that they defeated this elf was pretty interesting because Asta's sword is overpowered, man. It's crazy how powerful his sword is. So he talked about it during the episode. He said that the black energy in the sword is pretty overwhelming, so that was pretty interesting. So I guess he was talking about the anti-magic in the sword that was pretty overwhelming and stronger than his other swords, so that was pretty interesting. I didn't know that from sword to sword there could be a more powerful one like that, I didn't really think about it, but with this sword he was actually able to get the elf soul out of the human body, so that was kind of interesting. And I was waiting for that moment for a while, not this exact moment, but I was waiting for a moment for a solution against the elves, because I didn't really know how they were gonna beat the elves. I didn't know how they were gonna push the elf souls out of the human body, so now we actually know how they're gonna do it. That's just one of the solution, that's it's gonna be hard because the only one that can use this sword is Asta right now. So yeah, but we finally have a solution on how to beat the elves. It's gonna take a lot of work, but we finally know something that can help the humans right now. So I think I said everything that I needed to say about this part of the episode. If I didn't remember something, let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, man, the most important part I guess was Asta's sword, because it was pretty strong and he can use it to get out elf souls out of human bodies, but the next thing that I'm gonna talk about is the elves again, obviously, because they're the main enemy right now of this arc. And this shot right there was of Langris and the other Golden Dawn members, which is pretty scary, because the Golden Dawn are the most powerful team right now besides the Black Bulls. And at least I think all of their members are elves right now, you know, so that's pretty scary. They're pretty strong. So I think I really like that shot of Langris with the other members of the Golden Dawn. But you know, there's a lot of elves right now, and they're attacking the Clover Kingdom. So um, they you know, the humans are gonna have to divide and conquer, you know, so it's gonna be interesting to see how they go at it and how they'll defeat the elves. One of the most important thing in the episode was said by Rhea, and he said something pretty interesting, man. He said those two should be waking up soon. You should just give up, you know. And we saw that shot right there of two incubators with people in it. In one silhouette there's, I think, a woman, and the other one is a man, you know. So like I said, in the opening we saw, I think, Veto and Fana, and I think that these two are it, you know. I think that's Fana and Veto. Obviously they were part of the Third Eye with Rhea, and Rhea right now is the only member of the Third Eye with Lich, you know. So I really think that this is Fana and Veto, and I think they'll be as powerful as we think they're gonna be, you know. They're gonna be more powerful than we've seen in before. So it's gonna be interesting, man. I can't wait to see what's coming next. Let me know what you thought about this week's episode in the comments down below, and let me know what you think is gonna happen next. Like I said, it was a pretty good episode. We got some new information. We got a way to defeat the elves right now. So yeah, man. And there was a new opening, so it was a pretty good episode, and I think I did a pretty good job of talking about it. So let me know what you thought about this review. But I do Black Clover reviews every Tuesday, so subscribe for that. But I also do Dr. Stone and sometimes Fire Force reviews on Fridays, One Piece reviews on Saturdays, and there's no more Kimetsu no Yaiba Demon Slayer reviews on Saturdays because the first season is officially over. But there's a new movie coming for Demon Slayer. I don't know when exactly, but for the new arc they're actually doing a movie, which is crazy. But there's 4 new animes coming to my channel this October. The first one is Boruto Naruto Next Generation. For the 20th anniversary, they're doing a really big arc that is going from October to March, you know. So that's gonna be interesting, and I think it's gonna be pretty good because it's about Boruto and his friends going to the past, I guess, to visit Naruto and all these other guys. So that's gonna be interesting. And then there's also the 7 Deadly Sins season 3 on October 6th, I think. So stay tuned for that. And also there's Boku no Hero Academia season 4 on October 12th, and Sword Art Online Alicization on October 12th too. So stay tuned for all of that, man. I'm gonna review the entirety of those series. It's gonna be awesome to have some new anime on the channel. And yeah, man, like, comment, subscribe. It would help my channel a lot. And follow me at Anime Specialist on Twitter and Instagram, man. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Anime Specialist out. Peace.